I mean, it's a great day, to uh, just think about what we have ahead, to advance and have another shot to win a playoff series against a great team. And um, so I'm excited about what we just accomplished and excited about what's ahead. So it's a good day today.
And do you have any particular insight into Anthony Edwards from your time in Paris? I mean, did you learn the key in Paris of what he doesn't like and how to stop him?
The main insight I have is that he's really damn good. So I don't know how that helps us prepare, but yeah, Ant is an amazing player, and I love his energy. I love his infectious enthusiasm for the game. He was amazing to coach, and there's a reason the Wolves are where they are now. It's directly, they've done a great job organizationally and put together a really good roster. Chris has done a fantastic job as coach. But this is, they are where they are because Ant is a superstar. And you have to have a guy like that to build a great team. And he's the reason they are where they are.
Thank you.
Steve, it's Sam. Looking ahead to Minnesota, obviously another big team, just like Houston. Does facing the Rockets and that kind of size and physicality help prepare you for Houston at all, or
I
for
think it,
Minnesota?
yeah, for Minnesota, I think it does, Sam. I think, one of the things that was so obvious in that Houston series was that if we didn't scrap for every loose ball and every rebound, we were in some trouble. And the same concept is going to apply here. Minnesota is a big athletic team, a lot bigger than us, and they're going to be all over the offensive glass. And we have to fight and claw for every rebound, every loose ball. And if that's our mentality, then I like our chances.
How much can you draw from the first four matchups, considering that you guys are a completely different team at that time?
Yeah, it was interesting watching some of those games on the flight up, seeing the matchup, seeing just the roster. It was an entirely different team. So the main points I think from watching those games was it was more individual matchups. What it looked like depending on who guarded Ant, for example, or who guarded Randall. And so they're valuable tapes to watch based on personnel, but we are an entirely different team now. So there's only so much you can take from them.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Hey, Steve, it's Monty. You look very comfortable.
I am comfortable, Monty. Thank you. Yeah.
Um, some of us probably know about your story that goes back with Ant sort of crediting you for pushing his development. What do you recall about what you told him, the piece of advice you told him a number of years ago?
It's a funny story. I mean, I didn't really think much of it at the time. I didn't think I was, doing anything special. We were working him out. I think it was in Atlanta. It was during COVID, so nobody there. I think it's Joe Lacob, Bob Myers, and me. And then Ant goes out to work out with his trainer. We're the only five people in the whole gym. And after 15 minutes of just watching him lazily shoot 15 footers, I thought, when's the workout going to start? You know, and it turned out that was the workout. And so I just went down there and I said, "Hey, can we see something more?" Like, and I think he was kind of surprised, and so they picked it up. They picked up the pace a little bit, and more than anything, it was just a reminder of how young Ant was. I don't think he really knew what a hard workout was at that point. He was just getting started with his career, and then we had dinner that night, and I Bob and I both, talked about Steph and Kevin Durant and Clay and how hard they work and what it takes to be great. And he was genuinely captivated by, hearing stories about those guys. And but I didn't think anything of it. We went back and worked him out 2 weeks later, and the workout was way better. Like he really went hard, and at that point we were sure. We weren't sure after the first one, and then after the second one we were sure, and you could see he was just exploding with talent and charisma, and so that was basically the pre-draft story, and then obviously Minnesota took him before our turn, but. A year later, he's telling that story about, that inspired him, and it kind of caught me off guard. I didn't really realize that it was that big of a deal, but that was pretty cool that he said that, and I think it shows that he's a young guy who wants to learn, wants to be great.
Are you, knowing what you know about Ant, are you surprised at all that he's kind of putting targets on some of the establishment guys? Last year, KD, this year,
Right.
LeBron. Now we got Steph coming. I mean, are you surprised at all that he's kind of looking at these guys going, I'm coming for you guys?
No, not at all. I mean, that's the kind of confidence he has, the charisma. I watched him, in Paris every day after practice. He and Kevin would go at it, and LeBron and Steph, and they would have these shooting contests, and he's right in the middle of it, talking all kinds of trash. And it's such a big part of who he is, his love for the game, his love for competition, but it's all in a really um, good spirited way. He's there's never anything malicious about the trash talk. It's he loves what he does, and he loves to compete, and the guys around him really enjoy that the banter too, because it's always in a humorous fashion.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
Uh,
Jenny.
hi. Brandon, we all know Brandon's had the courage to step in there and take charges for a while, but I mean, he's doing it against
Mm.
still some really big dudes and just continues to do it on the playoff stage. And what did you see in a 7 game series from this guy who just continues to grow and it seems like he's taking the shot at the right time, dishing
Yeah.
at the right time, and just maybe continuing to make strides now with the whole world watching.
Yeah, he's first of all, he's got a great feel for the game, and I think that's what stands out, especially in today's NBA. Some of these guys are so young, and they come in and they're not quite sure what they're doing, and he just has an innate sense of the game. He's also incredibly tough to take all those charges, to stand in there against those big guys. That's not easy, but he relishes it. As far as the series, I think it's a great learning experience for him. He had some huge games. He had a couple tough games, but I think it was all part of his growth and his development. That every game is going to be a little different, but there's ways you can impact the game regardless of whether the shot's going in or not. But he really does a great job for us connecting the game and making it easier for Steph and Jimmy, and that's an important part of being on this team.
And is Gary um, recovered enough that to get his strength back that you feel he'll be
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
okay?
Yeah, he was on the flight, but he wore a mask, sat in the back away from the rest of the players, and
Okay.
don't know yet about his status for tomorrow.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Hmm. Anybody else?
Anything else? Jared, do you have a question from the Minneapolis side?
Yeah, just a quick question. Just what has Jimmy brought to you? And can he be any more Jimmy when he's playing against a former team of his?
Jimmy has brought incredible confidence and stability to our team. He's a perfect fit because he never turns it over. And we have been a high turnover team in the past, but we've always thrived when we've had guys next to Steph and Draymond who can stabilize the game, whether it was Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, David West, those type players. And Jimmy gives us that. So when the game needs to be settled down, he settles it down. He's got incredible confidence that I think fuels the rest of the guys. You know, they believe in him, but they also feel his belief in them, and that's really important. He's a great player. He's one of the best ISO players in the league. So in a playoff game, when all else fails, you throw him the ball and he gets you a good shot. So all of those things, the competitiveness, the confidence, the IQ, the physical strength, he turned us around completely. We were below 500 when we got him, and we've been one of the best teams in the league ever since. So he's uh, he's a superstar, and I don't know anything about what it's going to be like for him to play against Minnesota. The only experience we had, we played a game in Miami this year. Did not go very well for us. But I don't think that applies here. I just think Jimmy's a gamer. He loves to compete, and I know he's excited for the series.
Can he get any more fired up than he usually is?
He's what I'm most impressed with Jimmy is his poise. You know, he's so competitive, but he never seems out of sorts, and that's one of the reasons he's so good taking care of the ball and settling us down. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be ready to go tomorrow.
So I needed thank you.
For what?
For what? For being a good quote.
Oh, all right. You're welcome.
Anything
Else?
else? Anybody? Sam? Nope.
All right.
All
Thanks.
right.